Should I buy the iPhone 13 or opt for a year-old iPhone 12 instead? That's probably the question that most consumers owning an old iPhone have in mind right now. With the release of the new iPhone 13 lineup, there's certainly two kinds of people. One who's clear about upgrading their old iPhone to the iPhone 13, and two, who are still trying to figure out what to get between the iPhone 13 and the iPhone 13 12, and which device offers a better deal for them. So in this video, I'll do my best to help you make that decision. My name is Victor Kamanga. Let's get right into it. There's one thing that hasn't changed as the iPhone 12 makes way for the iPhone 13, the starting price for Apple's phones. The iPhone 13 models cost the same price as their iPhone 12 counterparts. $699 for the iPhone 13 mini, $799 for the iPhone 13, $999 for the iPhone 13 Pro, and $1,099 for the iPhone 13 Pro Max. In the case of the iPhone 13 and 13 mini, you're getting more storage for your buck than the iPhone 12 versions. The iPhone 13 models now start with 128 gigs of storage instead of the 64 gigs we got last year. The iPhone 12 and iPhone 12 mini are still a part of Apple's iPhone lineup at reduced prices. The iPhone 12 costs the same $699 that Apple charges for the iPhone 13 mini, while the iPhone 12 mini drops to $599. From a design standpoint, there's not much of a difference between the iPhone 13 and the iPhone 12, except for two very visible exceptions. That will be the notch on the iPhone 13, which is smaller on all four new models. It's in fact 20% smaller according to Apple. And the other small difference is the placement of the camera sensor, which are placed diagonally in iPhone 13 to accommodate a larger camera sensor. Now, as far as other changes that most people are probably not going to notice, in fact, I never noticed it until I put the phone side by side, is the mute switch, volume rockers are shifted slightly down, and then that SIM card tray is shifted slightly up. That means that your iPhone 12 cases are not going to be compatible with the iPhone 13. Otherwise, the look of the phone is the same with the same flat edges and ceramic shield displays for greater durability. The new models are heavier, likely because of the bigger batteries that Apple has included with the iPhone 13, and there are new color options. A pink model joins the mix and replaces last year's purple colorway. Midnight replaces the black colorway and has this dark blue hue to it, which you're only going to pick up on certain lighting conditions. Starlight replaces that white. It's more of a creamier color. Blue and product red colors are still available for the iPhone 13 and 13 mini. In terms of the panels, we're still rocking the same 6.1-inch Super Retina OLED display, and they do not have ProMotion on it. Apple is promising brighter displays. In fact, they're saying it's 28% brighter than the iPhone 12 screen. The iPhone 13 and 13 mini can produce 800 nits of brightness, which is better than the iPhone 12's 625 nits. Even though we still have some minor upgrades and it's a better panel or whatever, I'm still a little bit disappointed that we're still sitting at a 60 Hz refresh rate, because even devices that cost nearly half the price tag of this have 90 Hz and even 120 Hz. I would have liked to at least see 90 Hz on this device, but hopefully next year this changes. The battery in the iPhone 13 is larger compared to the iPhone 12 according to Apple, and they're claiming to last 2.5 hours longer than the iPhone 12. As someone who's coming from the iPhone 12, I've actually used this device as a daily driver for over a year. I have to say the iPhone 13 has considerably better battery life. On heavier days, I'm ending with about, let's say, around like 10%. Does that make any sense? Not around 10%. Let's say 5 to 10% of battery life with about 6 to 7 hours of on-screen. Lighter days, I'd say I'm ending the day with about like 30%, with about, let's say, 4 to like 5 hours. No, 5 to 6 hours of on-screen. I'd say I'm getting about an hour and a half more of usage with the new iPhone 13. It's nothing major, but it's definitely better. Not that 2.5 hours that Apple was talking about. For me, it's more like 1.5 hours better. The iPhone 13 models are all powered by the A15 Bionic processor, an upgrade from the A14 Bionic chip found in all the iPhone 12 models. Considering the A14 was the fastest system on a chip, that should mean some pretty powerful performance. For most tasks, the A14 Bionic and A15 Bionic chips will both likely handle your FaceTime calls, texts, apps, games, and streaming videos with little to no difference. However, the iPhone 13's A15 Bionic may already be designed to be compatible with new devices and software in the works of Apple. Currently, the iPhone 13's chip does power the cinematic video recording mode on the 2021 phones. The iPhone 12 boasted some of the best 5G compatibility around, but Apple says the new phones can support even more 5G bands. By the end of the year, Apple says 5G support on the iPhone 13 models will double with more than 200 carriers in 60 countries and regions. Cameras figure to be a major point of difference between the iPhone 13 and iPhone 12, even if the number of lenses is unchanged from the phone. That's because it's what Apple has done with the camera hardware that should make the camera experience somewhat different on the iPhone 13. Both the iPhone 13 and 13 mini offer a 12 megapixel main camera that has the biggest sensor ever used in a dual camera iPhone. Apple says it should let in 47% more light than the iPhone 12 cameras for sharper pictures. These two iPhone 13 models have the sensor shift optical image stabilization feature that Apple added with the iPhone 12 Pro Max last year. And the ultra-wide lens promises more detail in the darker areas of your images. Along with the standard portrait, night mode, time-lapse, and other photographic capabilities, the iPhone 13 gains cinematic mode, a feature that uses rack focus to seamlessly shift focus from one subject to another. It artfully blurs the background and creates this movie-like depth effect to your videos. I have to say it's actually a pretty cool feature, and I can see some individuals wanting to upgrade from the iPhone 12 just for this feature. Both devices support 4K at 60 FPS video recording, while cinematic mode is locked to 1080p at 30 FPS. Smart HDR4 recognizes up to 4 people in a photo and optimizes the contrast, lighting, and skin tones for each one. And Deep Fusion, a carryover from the iPhone 12, activates in mid to low light scenes to bring out texture and detail. Photographic profiles are an upgraded kind of filter that applies selectively to an image, muting colors or boosting vividness without impacting skin tones. You can find vibrant, rich contrast, warm, and cool options along with settings for tone and warmth for customization and refining. Overall, the iPhone 13 has much more camera upgrades, both in software and hardware, which makes the iPhone 13 more tempting to buy. You can expect phones to improve from one generation to the next, but the difference in our iPhone 13 versus iPhone 12 comparison are quite stark. The better storage options, faster processor, and camera improvements would be enough to make this a significant upgrade to some people. But to answer the question, should I upgrade? The short answer is most iPhone 12 and iPhone 11 users can probably skip this upgrade since their phone is probably still plenty capable. And there isn't a whole lot that meaningfully changes the experience. But aside from that, that's practically it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you plan on upgrading to the iPhone 13 from either the 11 or 12, I would love to hear why in the comment section. If you want to see any other comparisons on the channel, maybe the iPhone 13 versus 13 Pro, let me know down in the comment section as well, because that's something I'm already considering producing. If you haven't seen any of my other iPhone 13 Pro videos or 13 mini videos, they'll be linked down in the comment section. Once again, this is Victor Kamanga with another Everything Technology video. I look forward to seeing all of you in the next one. Bye.